I'm a founder of Stone Tigers. You can find me as someone you know on Instagram, Telegram. If you want to get in touch, please do so. And if you want to find more information about Stone Tigers, just Google. As simple as that, and you will find it all. So speaking a little bit about what am I doing, is I joined the NFT space about 2 years ago, and since then we firstly started building up the Stone Tigers, the community, then releasing several collections associated with the ecosystem. And at this point now, I also have a lot of one-on-one artworks created by me, sold out and being showcased worldwide. The latest showcase was NFT in UAC. There's a couple more yet to come. You can find the information for that on my portfolio website. It's someoneyouKnow.com without the underscores. The first O is zero, by the way. But that's a little bit about me. I've attended quite a amount of the in real life events. I was like some of the biggest was the Solana events that have been happening here in Lisbon, and it's been incredible networking opportunities. I've met the founder of Solana blockchain, met the core VCs of the ecosystem. I mean, my Twitter page is now the personal one suspended, which is sad, by the way. You want to help, use the hashtag #FreeSomeOneYou, that will be very helpful. But the founder of Solana blockchain, Gary Vee, and many other influencers and big celebrities have been following me there. So at this point, we continue building Stone Tigers, and there's going to be more things associated with what we're going to be releasing. As I mentioned before, it's going to be baby Stone Tigers, it's going to be twice the collection size, and there's going to be a particular utility associated with it. And the collection will be deflationary as well. So if anyone interested in seeing our OG collection and seeing some sneak peeks, make sure to follow us on Twitter. From there you'll find all the information. And Stone Tigers are available on Magic Eden. So just you can go there, grab yourself one. They are available for a couple bucks, so they're not very expensive right now. Solana ecosystem wasn't doing very well lately, but it will get better. So that's one thing I wanted to say. With that said, GM. Hope you're having a wonderful day. It's a sunny, beautiful day today in the Lisbon, and I wish you will enjoy it. So, as I spoke about Stone Tigers, that's how they look like. There's a couple examples of the art, and I tried actually made something to show you some of the rarest ones, and there's very few of them. For example, if you see the purple skin, there's I believe like 20 of them in the collection, and there's 0 for sale. So if you want one like that, you can get it. Good luck. I bought them all. I'm not joking. But let's get closer to the topic. So firstly, what is an NFT? What the hell it means, non-fungible token, and what it makes non-fungible. So an NFT is a unique token. It's basically a string of code onto the blockchain that has some value attached to it, a key being an image, video, MP3 file, or any text. That's what an NFT is. And basically every single token is unique, and there is no any entirely alike. So if I have a token number 1 and Pasha has number 2, and even if they have the same piece of art, it's not the same token, it's not the same NFT. So that's the whole point. So when you speak about, for example, any blockchain native currency, let's take Solana, Ethereum, TON, they are fungible, which means, let's say 1 Ethereum is equal 1 Ethereum. With NFTs, it's not necessarily true. The value behind them can be based onto the traits of the image and a couple other things. So that's what an NFT is, a digital collectible, an easy way of saying. And I hope you already have some. If you don't, please go ahead and get yourself first NFT today. So the next thing I want to touch on is how the NFTs getting onto the blockchain, how they've been created. For that, you need a smart contract, and different chains have different options how you do it. It's the same with the TON. They have their unique own way how you create NFTs. With the Solana, for example, you use a candy machine. It's a standard created by the Metaplex Foundation. Nobody knows, it's okay. And on Ethereum, you write a smart contract on Solidity. There's a lot of no-code solutions. But basically, NFT mint is the first transaction getting the NFT on-chain itself. So let's say the mint going to be happening, there's going to be 100 NFTs. Before they actually mint it, they are not on-chain. they are not in existence. So when you mint an NFT and you pay gas fee for transaction, that's the moment that NFT got on chain, and now it's in your wallet, logged behind you and your wallet controlling it. So that's how the NFT mint works, and that's what it is. And it's important to understand that mint of new projects very often is overhyped or underhyped. I don't know, there's two options. But if it's overhyped, the one thing that I gotta tell you, don't buy it. Just don't buy it other than if you were on the whitelist and can get it the first. Because within the first 5 to 10 minutes, you have a chance to go into the secondary, list it for extra amount of money, and it will be sold. But if you will fail within this time frame, you will, well, probably go into the minus. I'm not saying that you will lose all your money, which is very probable, but I'm not saying that you'll lose your money with a big chance if you go for the viral mint, and especially buying off the secondary. So don't do that. If you wanna get an NFT, get of the existing community that proven themselves, have a track record, team that executes things, and that been doing it for a while. Don't go for some random stuff that has just came out. It may succeed and may not. If you want statistic, 99.9% of all NFT projects fail. And I have over 1,000 NFTs that worth nothing. So do wise decisions. With that said, the next thing I wanted to mention is that where do we sell NFTs once they're minted, right? So the mint takes place usually on your own website, or you're using a launchpad. Let's say Magic Eden is a secondary market as an NFT marketplace, and it's a launchpad. So you could actually release your NFTs and create a mint onto their marketplace, and then be trading your NFTs on the secondary directly there. On Solana, for example, the most popular marketplace, of course, is Magic Eden. Now they're transitioning to other chains. And on Ethereum, it's OpenSea is the biggest one. So for the NFT marketplace, you would go if you want to buy an NFT, but it was already sold out on the original mint, as Stone Tigers would be. So if you don't have a tiger and you want to get one, you need to have a Phantom wallet. You need to go to Magic Eden, find Stone Tigers, and then buy an NFT from there. And as the mint already happened, you can choose which particular tiger you want out of the ones that are on the floor for sale. And then get the one that more resonates with you. So let's say, I like smoking joints, maybe less bongs, so get the one that has a joint tray. Perfect. It's used me well. So the main question of this talk is what to do with your NFT after the mint. So it's minted out. What's next? Why does it have any value? What's the life for any NFT project after the mint is going to be? And to be honest, it comes down to several things, but one of the most important aspects, despite everything else, is community. And if an NFT project has no community, no core community of even 10 people, it doesn't matter if you have a collection of 2,000 NFTs sold out or 10,000, but if you don't have a core of 10 people interacting with each other, genuinely caring how they're doing, probably the project will fail, and you will never hear of it again. So that's the first thing about the NFT after mint. If there is no community being formed, the strong group of people with a belief in the same values as their founders, it's probably gonna go nowhere. And I mean, if you see something like that onto the market, you see something pumping, you want to buy it because it's minting, it's viral, then you buy it, and then it goes to zero, and then founders nowhere to be found. Don't blame yourself. It's okay. Those things happen 99% of the time. So be aware about that. But what you could do with your NFT after the mint as other than the community. So the community aspect brings the social image of your project into the people's life. And when they're using your NFT, let's say Tiger NFT, as their PFP on the social media, first of all, they're supporting the project. Second of all, they are doing the marketing, helping actual market. Even with the small audience of 10 people, it's still marketing. And then another thing is that they associate with this image and they take it seriously, and they can resonate with certain things. For example, some people genuinely like, purple color, and they spend so much time waiting for buying the tiger at the floor that has purple background, purple skin color, and purple and green eyes, because they freaking love this color, and now they resonate with it. And even though they don't use it as their PFP, anytime they will get a chance, they will plug their tiger in and say how much they love it. Because that's a personal connection to the particular thing that a person owns. So that's the first thing that you could do with NFT. You could use it as a PFP, profile picture on your social media, which is what a lot of people are doing. Then what else you could do? There is a lot of varieties of the utilities that can be created, but we're going to speak about the easiest ones. That could be staking. So the staking is, with the tokens, for example, is different from the NFTs. Let's say if you stake Solana and you're earning Solana passively. Well, it's not the same with NFTs. With NFTs, you basically can create your own token, or you can utilize platforms, just provide a liquidity of, let's say, 10 Solana. It doesn't matter. You can create or use any token in existence. And then basically, the holders of the NFTs could lock their NFT, which will take them out of circulation, so they will not be able to transfer it back and forth, you will not be able to sell it, list it on the marketplace, because it will be staked. And you will be earning a passive reward. Let's say we're gonna launch the staking and provide 10 Solana liquidity for a year. So if there's gonna be 100 people staking, maybe each one will own, weekly, let's say 0.05 Solana. So that's basically what would be the staking fee. And that's one of the examples of the utility, and it has a value, because once the project sells out, they have a funds, and they could be able to provide a nice liquidity to their community to actually earn some passive rewards, even if it will just redistribute like 30% of the funds from the mint. It will be actually huge for some members. And then as the business and the brand grows, they will be able to contribute even more from the secondary sales using royalties to provide rewards for staking. So staking NFTs is an idea, just lock them into the contract so they take it out of circulation and not being traded on the secondary market, which makes them more desirable and less affordable. That's just one of the examples of the utility. There can be many others, but what we personally have been creating for the past 5 months, what we've been working on, now the technology is ready, we decided to monetize an experience, engage to earn. Basically, many of you may know Stepan Official, and Stepan Official was actually the first project that succeeded big with monetizing an experience, and they monetized the walking and running. That was a great step further, which allows us to look into the future and what's going to be. At this point, I believe there's like 2 projects plus us who created the Engage to Earn utility and technology, and this current stage, that's it. There's going to be more with time. People see value in that, but it takes time to develop. That's another example of the utility. What else could you do with an NFT after mint? Is, as I spoke before, the community is very important aspect. So how do you create it? How do you keep it entertained? What do you do for the people in there? And organizing live events helps. Organizing activities that people could play online from home. Hosting Twitter spaces and communicating daily, posting on social media, that all helps, of course. Community itself is a utility, because when you buy NFT, other than just getting the status and the beautiful PFP that you enjoy, you're getting access to the membership club. And majority of the cases, people have a private community in the Discord, which is the case with Stone Tigers. I encourage you to join our Discord. We have about 3,500 people there. You can be welcomed as well. We have a weekly events for our holders and for holders only. And if you're not a holder, some information even not available for you. So you need to pass the holder verification once you own an NFT. And the board, they've been actually the first project that made this step hugely. Now they're positioning themselves as a membership club rather than a security or anything else. That has to do with the regulations as well. Because if you join the club and you find the people that you're resonating with, it doesn't matter how much they cost you, you're not buying the security, you're just getting the membership access. So it's not the same from the lawsuit side. And the membership club for any NFT project is very essential, because if there is no community, as I said before, the project probably will die. At this point, we have, for example, from 100 to 200 people playing with us poker every single Sunday. We partner on average with like 8 different projects, giving away a bunch of NFTs, giving away over $50,000 worth of NFTs, and it's for free every single Sunday. Same time, you can join and play. And we just love doing that for our community and giving them some extra. In fact, it became so cultural to us that people are really expecting it, and we've been hosting it for 1 year plus every single Sunday. And it's a lot of joy. So one of the things that after the mint of the NFT, you need to build a social aspect and for people to be able to have fun, interact, and actually willing to be promoting you. Because if they are not, then you're not in the very good boat. For example, there is Pasha sitting right here. I introduced him himself before. He's a holder of the Stone Tigers. He's my friend, and he's also a part of the team. He doesn't use them in Twitter much, but he still works his Stone Tigers, his PFP. That's what I'm saying. It's like, it not comes down to everyday use, but it's still something, you know, that he's willing to do, because that's what people do. And that's a little bit about what you could do with an NFT after mint. You could use it for many other ways as well. For example, as the tickets on the events. I don't know if you've been on some, but I was on the party by DJ Academy with the Trash Pandas. They created an event before, and it was NFT token gated. So you could use NFT as a ticket to go there, and if you don't have one, they wouldn't let you in. Very simple. Great idea. So I want to tell you a couple of examples of success stories and of course of failures. So let's start with the biggest one. Who can tell me the biggest brand in the NFT space? What's their name? Exactly, it's a Bored Ape Yacht Club. And it's a great example of the community that came together and formed the culture. So they started a long time ago, and I don't know if any one of you knows what was the first utility of the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Anyone?
The riding free yacht club.
Yeah, well, I will explain it simply. They created a poster, basically the image with the pixels, where the holders could draw something and add whatever they want. And that being the first utility of the Bored Ape Yacht Club. They started building the culture and the community, and it took them a while. They've been giving them away for free everywhere, and then eventually that took off. At this point now, what they have released is ApeCoin DAO, of course, that was an airdrop. They released the mutants, barks, and whatever, and all those things you've been able to get for free. Then other side beta, you know, the metaverse that they are building, many other things. So other than getting access to the membership club, other than having access to the alpha groups, you're also having access to all those utilities. And you've been the one that would participate in the beta testing of their metaverse that they about to release, which is called Other Side Meta. This is a great example of success. They succeeded for different reasons. One of them, they had a great person behind for the brand awareness that I know, and shout out to you, my friend. It was a pleasure meeting him before as well. And he did an incredible job just building an awareness for the brand, and then it expanded, it been picked up by masses, and it hit it onto the NFT boom of the 1.5 to 2 years ago, and it went pretty successful. But it doesn't happen with all the projects the same way. There has been, gosh, I forgot their name. There has been a big project released by the brand that existing for over 20 years, and they've been minting at a mint price of 0.5 ETH, if I'm not mistaken. And as a result, from the first day, there has been people that have been saying it's a rug pull. Even though it's a legit business that exists for like 20 plus years, that decided to release an NFT, they have an audience. People have been warning that it's a rug pull since day one. Eventually, it happened about like 1-2 months ago, they rugged. And then the guy that said it in the first day was like, yo, I told you that's gonna happen. You know, why did they decide to close and rug the project eventually? Well, because they had no community. That was their failure. They had nobody interested to talk and participate in any events whatsoever or buy their NFTs. So from half ETH, it went to 1 ETH, and then to 0 eventually over a course of a year. What I'm saying is that there is many of those failures, and I've seen many projects, you know, just going away because they're not succeeding. There was one girl, she's actually created the project, and she's been grinding for insane amount of time, like 3 months, every single day, using 2 phones. And then when the mint day happened, her collection sold only like 400, 500 pieces out of 10,000. And she was super upset, and she closed the project. So why is that a failure? Well, she built the community, right? She didn't get exposure. So it's another thing that is important. For that, we need more marketers and the people that could direct you to the resources where you could get the audience of the people that would not just mint, but would be curious to share that and would get hype. How do you do that? For that, you need influencers, you need promoters, and a little secret, we all know each other, and there is the whole sheet with the prices. So it's very simple actually. It's not always very cheap, but I can say that it's cool if you build the community organically, then use influencers prior to launch, like 1 week, because then you're gonna get both the community, the exposure, still gonna get hurt a little bit after the mint as the floor price is gonna plunge down a little bit. But that probably going to be not a failure story if it's going to be done with community building at first. And then another reason for failures is that people very often just get tired. Like imagine you've been living like an average person, getting, I don't know, 20, 50,000 salary a year, okay? And now you need 2 million. Would you be working every single day? Like for 10 hours a day? I mean, I understand some of those people, you know, they don't have a desire to do so. I don't know if we can blame them for that. We can actually press legal charges instead and say that this is a scam rather than, you know, blaming them. I don't think so. They deserve the blame because I would, you know, think the same on their place if they wasn't really for the culture. So the utility use cases, as I mentioned before, it's a membership club. It can be staking. It can be a monetization of any experiences that the community would want to provide. It can be a burning. It can be a gamified experience of you playing the game with your NFT. I have actually a friend, Dredge, who done that with the Tidal Docs. He is the second developer behind some token that we're going to introduce the same technology in the Meet token. He's the main person behind this utility, but he's a great dude. He's a developer for many years and basically created a little playable game, like a 16-bit game for his community with the Tidal Docs. It took him a couple months, but the people enjoyed this little thing in the process of learning how he did it. He has his YouTube channel, by the way. Shout out to Dredge. He's an awesome guy. Drop him a follow now. Everybody, if you have a phone, go to the YouTube, find Dredge, like for real, just type J, Dredge, and you will find him. Great dude. Well, that's the utility use cases. And for the Stone Tigers, what currently you have is access to the private community. We have weekly events for our holders. We have a lot of learning materials for you. And we support a lot of artists and creators in the space, which make a huge chunk of our community as well. Plus, we do lots of giveaways that you could participate in if you haven't yet. And if you don't have a chance to spend a few, like $6, $10, don't worry, you can participate in giveaways. People really win. I know people that enter every single time, and well, they win quite frequently, I could say. And as I spoke before, the community is a very essential aspect where we try to communicate as much as we can. And at this point, it's not just me, it's us. And people hang out in the community and they want to talk not only to me, to the founder, but they want to hear other team members. They want to hear Maria, who is a co-founder. You know, they're happy to see Pasha every time he joins. They're happy to see Valia. They're just happy to see our team. And that's been quite a journey building that. And some people, you know, not showing up daily, but they may come in like once a week and say, hey guys, how's it going? You know, I'm just playing poker and throughout the week working, taking care of the kids. Sorry, I can't talk more, but I remember you holding my tigers and this week a couple more. It's not about only the daily interaction, but it's about you having this connection and be willing to just enjoy the little things that people provide for you as well. And then when we meet in the real life events, of course, this level of connection is so different. And we've met so many Solana events. I believe at Solana Hacker House and Solana Breakpoint, there was about like 20 of our community members. 20 people. It's like, it's some random spot somewhere in the planet, 20 people came out of 600. Well, at this point, 620 plus minus. It's quite a good number. So if you're not yet a part of the community, join. And I'm not saying just join Stone Tigers. Look for the cool communities that have been here for a while and decide to join them and see what they're all about. Some of the notable ones that are here for a long time, it's been Sappy Seals, well, Bored Apes, CryptoPunks, of course, expensive though. I mean, anything from the Yuga Lab ecosystem will get you inside of their community. So I suggest you join, and not just for the sake of investment. Don't treat it as a security, please, guys. Treat it as a membership club of a lot of OG NFT people that have been here for like 5 years, 3 years, 4 years, and then been buying Bored Apes almost for free. Those people that seen all of these cycles go back and forth has way more knowledge that I would possibly share in this 30-minute presentation. So what I suggest is that you consider joining those communities and just look for the ones that have been existing and has constant activity, events, and founders that actually care. The community is supposed to care as well. So if you have founder, community caring, and there is some activity, people gotta be pretty happy. And the project eventually gonna go up. In short term, everything is possible. In long term, if those things remain consistent, the project will be successful. And I've seen it, and it's gonna be the case with every single one that will put the work in. So the brand awareness that I touched before, and what is it all about? So if you will go to like majority of the events in the Lisbon or across the globe organized by Solana or even to NFT and UIC, you're gonna ask people around, do you know Stone Tigers? They're gonna tell you yes. Maybe they don't hold a Stone Tiger, maybe not everyone does. Of course, there's only 2,222 NFTs, I understand. But you will see that the people just aware of our brand, and that took us the longest amount of time, and it continuously building, and it keep going further. So the brand awareness is something that when the people associate you and the project, and it falls on their mind, they will probably not forget it. Even if it's gonna take 5 years and they still don't know, they're gonna remember it, and they're gonna say, oh yeah, that's a cool project, I remember, I've seen it before, and it still exists, they're still doing stuff, so that's cool. Brand awareness is where a lot of projects fail. So as I spoke about the failures before, brand awareness is a very essential point, and there is very few people in this industry that actually have an understanding of how to build brand awareness in NFT space. It's OX Puppy, it's me, it's Brando, there are several others, but it's less than 50 people that can tell you how to build brand awareness, and majority of them is not easy to hire. By the way, you can hire me, you can reach out to me on Telegram if you want, I can share with you. But brand awareness is a very essential point for every single project, and Bored Ape did an incredible job. CryptoPunks succeeded of the other reason, but then Bored Ape founders realized that Animoca brands, and they bought CryptoPunks, all the rights, because that's been the only competitor. Because it doesn't matter what the founders of the CryptoPunks doing, they can like stop existing at all. The project will be the most expensive NFT in 5 years, and the reason is that it's the first generative 10K BFP collection ever. It's a historical thing, and it got worth a lot. So they don't need as much brand awareness. It's been formed itself around it. But the Bored Ape needed it, and they succeeded hugely. There has been a couple other projects. Recently you've seen, for example, the Amigos. That's been actually a nice feeling. They eventually brought the FOMO back into the market. What I'm saying is that the FOMO allowed them to build a brand awareness now. Because before that, nobody knew who the hell is Amigos. And I think a lot of you still doesn't know. That's what I'm saying by brand awareness. And if they're gonna double down on that, continue building, they're probably gonna be one of the blue chip NFTs worth over 10 Ethereum on the floor. If not, we'll probably see them at this price point, if not below where they are now. I think it's half ETH. But that's a little bit about the brand awareness, and it's very important. And it's not only come down to the marketing, but actually constantly putting your brand in front of new audience and make them to remember. So when I introduced myself, it was funny, isn't it, that I built a project on something that I love, which is smoking weed. Isn't it cool, right? Isn't it memorable? That's what I'm saying. And that created brand awareness that a lot of people can't do. Just because they make it very similar to everyone else. We decided to be unique, and being stoner project actually not always easy because not everyone wants to partner with you, because the weed is illegal anywhere, but not in Portugal, luckily, so I can smoke. Well, the future plans of our project, of mine, and for the industry as a whole. For the Stone Tigers, I think the next 3 months is going to be the baby Stone Tiger release. Right now we're finalizing the presentation for the investors and the pitch deck, so we're going to be looking for the VCs. We actually need about 40 to 50,000 only, but that would be cool if we sort it out in the shortest period of time. So that's the first thing down on our radar. Releasing baby Stone Tigers in the utility going to be available since the beginning. Then later on introducing the staking of the token that will be granted through the use case of the utility, and then the burn mechanism. So that's a couple of the future plans. Other than that, a couple more showcases of the art, more events to attend, more connections to be made, and more people to be met. So that's a few things of our future plans. Of my personal ones, I hope I will make a living and will not die out of the starvation because of this breaking bear market, and will do NFT forever. Well, as long as I'm not getting bored, which I don't think so I ever will. And then for the industry, the future plans, I think in about 1 to 2 years, we're gonna see a huge bull market that's gonna just leave it all behind, and it's gonna be probably 5 times bigger than it was the first time. Within the 5 years time, I think we're gonna start seeing a real mass adoption where the people will like start to use NFTs on day-to-day basis, and it has to do with the big brands and corporations coming in, which do need to create those utilities and bring their audiences and do it proper way, so there is no hacks can happen and etc. There is actually a few that do an incredible job. For example, Plainix NFTs, it's an Air Baltic company. Air Baltic, they operate for like more than 15 years, I believe, at this point. And they released their loyalty program where if you own an NFT, you can stake it, earn the points, and spend them on free tickets on the plane, or for seats and meals on the plane and all this stuff. So for those things massively to come to the industry, it will take up to 5 years, I think. And from there, it will be very stable. And NFTs is not going to be only about art as it is right now. It's going to be a lot of times utility-based. It's just going to be membership pass. It's going to be in forms of tickets and etc. So it will be not always about art. And if you just buy NFTs because of art, a long time, long term, you're probably going to fail with that. So thank you for your attention. Make sure to follow us. My personal page on Twitter is suspended, but you can follow me on Instagram if you want, or add me on Telegram, send me the message. And follow Stone Tigers on Twitter. We have, what, 12,000 followers, I believe, at this point. You will see all the latest updates. There is a little thread. We put it at the 20th April because it was 1 year anniversary, because it's 420 as well. So read the thread through. There is a little information. Our merch is available as well. In the partnership with NFTware, there's a couple more things yet to be created. So go ahead, check it out, join the community, join the Discord, and have fun. Enjoy the Lisbon, and thank you everybody for having me. And that's a little bit about the NFTs after the minute. Appreciate you.